absolute must-see.
It's the Blueprint. Welcome to the Blueprint Sports Podcast. It's your man, Michigan Man Ray.
And this your boy Don Williams, representing for the UM fans.
Let's go. We got a special guest today. We got our man Jacob in the building. He does a blog for Ohio State. But I can't even say the last part. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes, Jacob. So you do a blog. What's the name of your blog? Tell the people about your blog that you do for Ohio.
Yeah, I started a blog called Glass Slipper about a year ago. Kind of cover all sports, but big focus on college football. I'm from Columbus, so diehard Ohio State fan. So yeah, that's my main thing, and yeah, it's going well so far.
Okay, so check this out, Jacob. My first question is, with you being from Columbus, being an Ohio State fan, how has been feeling, with Michigan winning these last several games? I kind of know you feel better. You won the championship last year, but is it really a championship without beating Michigan? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, and it's been rough. I went to UCLA for college, and a lot of my friends out there are just like neutral college football watchers, and I had to hear it from them for a long time about Michigan beating us. But yeah, I think I just think the rivalry is like in such an exciting spot right now. Obviously, Ohio State coming off the title, but Michigan with four straight wins, like both sides have so much to like jaw at each other about. And so yeah, I'm just so excited for like kind of this next era with Bryce and most likely Julian Sayin, and yeah, it's exciting right now.
Yeah.
But you guys are retooling this year, right? You guys lost some receivers, you lost the quarterback, right? So how's it looking coming back this year for you guys?
Yeah, I think, it's a lot of inexperience at a lot of spots. Obviously, most notably quarterback with Will Howard out. Emeka's gone as well. But, it's a lot of guys that have kind of stuck around and that we were super excited about as recruits, and we haven't gotten to see like a ton of. And it's their time, man. Like, I think our offensive line and defensive line specifically are the two big question marks in my opinion, especially if we're like looking at the Michigan game, because that's where you guys have been throwing us around in the trenches there. So, but yeah, I think I feel okay about pretty much everywhere except the defensive line. I'm a little worried about, but yeah, it's getting close, man. It's what is it, 26 days from game day, and yeah, I feel okay right now.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Let me ask something real quick.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to know. I got a lot of Ohio State buddies that I work with, and they were kind of on the cusp of what was more important, beating Michigan or getting that national championship. For you, what was I know winning that national championship, that natty was good, but that Michigan loss, did that kind of sting a little bit?
Definitely. People would always ask me that, like, and I never thought it would happen. It would happen where like we would lose to Michigan and still have a chance to play for a national title, especially when it was four-team playoff or even like BCS era. But yeah, I would always say like I want to beat Michigan more than anything, more than a national title. And then last year when we won it, like I kind of had to be like, it doesn't feel that different from like the 2014 title, like when we beat Michigan and won it. It is like a little, there's something in the back of your mind where like it's a little bit hollow. Like you see like commemorative footballs or whatever online that show like the final scores of each game, and you see an L next to Michigan, and it's like, man, I'm gonna have to live with that forever. But
Yeah.
but no, it definitely, it didn't feel all that different after we won the national title, fortunately.
Hey, I'm gonna say that our championship felt a little better because we beat Ohio that year, beat the Buckeyes, and won it. You know, and so yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's good though. They went back to back Big Ten champions. Get a little bit from the SEC. But I want to ask you, what do you think? Who you think is the favorites to win the Big Ten this year? What projection? What you thinking?
I've got Penn State. They're kind of following the same formula that both of our teams followed. With Michigan, you guys lost to TCU and everyone came back. All of those draft eligible guys came back, won a title together. And then Ohio State had a disappointing, obviously you guys beating us was a huge factor in a lot of those guys coming back. And then you see like Jack Sawyer, JT, all those guys, they won a title together. And now Penn State, I just think everyone at Penn State is so sick of hearing about how they can't win big games, and now they're all back. So yeah, I understand the questions about Drew Aller specifically. He hasn't been great on big stages, but they're just so old. Their team is so old, and old guys usually have an advantage over young guys, like 22-year-olds against 18-year-olds. I'll take the seniors most times. So yeah, I've got Penn State, but I think there's going to be a big group right behind them for sure.
Yeah, with the influx of them teams from last year, I think it's a little more competitive. Um, our team this year is going to be a little different. I think offensively, I think defensively, we're going to be pretty sound. The offense is going to be, we got a couple of transfer quarterbacks, and then we got Bryce coming in. So that's going to be exciting to see, if our offense is going to be, we usually like to run the ball and play off the run. So I'm interested to see if they're going to, kind of change that up a little bit. But that being said, what's going to be the strength of Ohio State this year? What are they going to, kind of rely on this year?
It's the receivers still. And I
You
think,
guys are your guys are receiver you over there.
Yeah, y'all.
yeah, I think it's just so cool this year, especially because some people don't know this, but Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Innes, those are probably our starting three guys this year, and they all played together in 7-on-7s down in Florida. And so like I think just from a human perspective, these are 19-year-old kids who just won a ring. They're getting paid now. They're playing football with their childhood friends. This is going to be one of the best years of their lives probably. So I think just for them personally, I'm super excited. And then obviously for the team, it's the best thing you could ask for a guy like Julian Say, and he's going to have three NFL guys he's throwing to, and a few more off the bench. And I don't think Julian's going to be perfect right away, but that'll definitely help him out in the early months for sure.
Yeah, I want to talk too a little bit. You did a preseason story on Michigan. Let's talk a little bit about your outtake, outlook. That's actually how we connected and everything. So I want you to give voice to that on this platform. Your
Yeah,
assessment.
yeah. My thing with Michigan, as much as I don't like Michigan, I'm always gonna be as objective as possible because I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I watched Bryce Underwood's high school tape and I don't believe in him. No, when I thought when we all thought Bryce was going to LSU, I thought he was gonna be a star. And when he flipped to Michigan, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, actually he's bad. No, no, I still think he's gonna be a star. I think there are gonna be, in my opinion, some growing pains because one thing I've always admired about Sharon Moore is that guy, he coaches with some guts. I think about the game he called in the Rose Bowl against Bama when you guys won the title, the double pass, going for it on fourth down late. instead of trying to play like the timeout game. Like that guy, he's like a he's a courageous coach, and so I don't like. It's hard for me to imagine him trying to ease Bryce into things. Like I think he's going to be like, "All right, kid, like go do it."
I
A
hope
lot of
so.
yeah, a lot of coaches, especially when you have a guy like as athletic as Bryce, they'll try and protect him early with like a lot of quarterback runs or like a bunch of safe concepts and everything. I don't think it's going to be like that. And so um, I think it's going to be a little up and down for Bryce. And I think that's also part of the reason why Sharon wanted to be there for the Oklahoma game and kind of push his suspension until after that because I think he wanted to help Bryce through that stage. And so, yeah, I think the offense is a question mark a little bit just because of that, and I don't I don't necessarily love the weapons. Justice Haynes I really like, but the wide receivers and tight ends I'm not super sure about. But I think your defense is elite again, and that's why I had Michigan ranked at 10 in my preseason thing, and I got a lot of Ohio State fans in the DMs like 10, like that's really high. Like they went 7-5, and I'm like, yeah, but did you watch like you watched the game against us last year? You watched the bowl game against Bama. Like that defense is real, and that was with Will and Mason like kind of in and out of the lineup, and so. Yeah, I think Michigan is perfectly fine. Maybe next year is like the real contention, where you have you're kind of expecting to be in the semifinals or the title game with Bryce in year two, but I think you guys are going to be good this year.
Yeah.
I got a part two real quick. So with them expanding, because they're expanding the playoffs again this year, right?
Well, yeah, this year it's still 12, but yeah.
So you think, well, I know you feel Ohio State's going to make it. You think Michigan's going to get in the playoffs this year?
I have Michigan right outside the playoff. I have them at 9-3, which is going to be like on the borderline probably. I think yeah, your guys' listeners won't love this, but I have Michigan State, unfortunately beating you guys this year.
You had
Um,
who? Who?
Oh, whoa, whoa,
Who beat
whoa.
us this year?
I got
Little
little
brother.
brother, little brother. Um, Yeah, that it doesn't really have a ton to do with that game. It doesn't have a ton to do with Michigan. I just kind of like Michigan State a little more than some people do. I really like Aiden Childs, their quarterback.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Yeah, and also like the game against you guys last year. I know it was Davis Warren, so it's hard to compare, but I just kind of liked how they matched up physically a little bit, and they had the ball at the end with a chance to tie. So. And that game's in East Lansing, so year two for Childs as a starter. I have them pulling an upset there, but no, I think Michigan's they're gonna be in the mix all year, I think, and I have them finishing like just outside the playoff.
I think if they finish 9-3 with their name, I think they'll get the nine. I think they'll be one of the last teams in. Three losses. Of course, depending on who they lose to. Um, I think they'll be okay, but we'll see how that goes.
What you think, Don? What you think Michigan gonna do?
I got to look at that. I feel like this is kind of, even though I don't put too much into the preseason rankings because these are kids and and so I kind of want to see a couple games, but I'm like Jacob. I feel like he's going to open up the offense, and if he lets these guys play, um, I think they'll take some bumps early. They'll win the games, but they'll be in some close games, and I think 9-3 sounds about what I would expect, and I figure if they go 9-3, I think they'll be on they'll be right on that cusp of the playoffs also. So I agree with you, Jacob. Yeah,
How about
I
you,
kind of,
Ray?
yeah, I can see that too, but I see them beating both rivals though, Little Brother and Ohio again. How would you feel about that? Five in a row, Jacob. How would you feel about that?
But I might have to cut off contact with you guys
that's
if that happens again.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to come. You got to come back throughout the season, man, because
oh yeah.
we do all sports as well, and we expanded our
Yeah,
podcast.
you
And
see
with
what
that
what
said,
I got back
yeah,
here.
we covered the Lions heavy. With that said, I want to get your take on what did we really get in Talik Williams, the D tackle from Ohio State we drafted. Obviously you watch the team, you know him, you seen him play more than us. What kind of player did we get?
Yeah, he's another guy that decided to come back for a fourth year. He was so good as a freshman in 2021, and we were all kind of looking at each other like, what is this? Like we got this guy for the next 3 years, and he kind of dealt with some injury stuff. He was up and down, and then this past year, especially late in the year, he started to put it together again, and I really like him. He is the guy. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he's the guy who there was a video of him like stomping on a JJ McCarthy jersey a couple years ago.
I
That
do
was
remember.
him.
I didn't know that was him. Yeah, but I remember that.
That was him, unless I'm forget remembering wrong. But yeah, he's that's kind of how he plays though. He's just a super like passionate, energetic dude, and I think you guys are gonna love him. He's a really good player.
Yeah, I seen them make a move yesterday. Actually, the Lions put it on their Instagram. He did a sweet little move, man. I said,
Yeah, we need.
okay,
Well, we gonna need him.
yeah, we gonna definitely need him.
From last year, our defensive depth. So hopefully he's a monster on that line, and pair him up with our boy Hutch, and we should be good. But yeah, we definitely. So are you? Do you go to any of the games or?
Um, I used to go to around like one a year growing up. Not not any recently. Obviously, I've been away at college, but yeah, it's always a good time. I've honestly been like kind of complaining about the shoe a little bit because and I think part of it was just losing to Michigan. Like the fans, it's hard for them to get into it a little bit. But I think we saw like especially in the Tennessee game in round one last year, the playoff, like that was the first time in a while that I like really heard the shoe like alive and electric. So I think now that we won the title, I think it's going to be a fun year there. I think people are going to be excited.
Have you been to the big house before?
Never been to the big house.
Ooh, you
No,
come to the big house, you're gonna be a Michigan fan.
I don't think so.
I don't like the food at Ohio State. I don't like nothing about that. I bring my own food and tailgate in the truck. I don't buy no concession stands no more. The Sprite, I don't know if they did me wrong or what. The Sprite was bad. All that was bad. No, I just play.
I will say, like, every time I would go back to school, I would connect through the Detroit airport. It's the best airport I've ever been to. It's amazing. I
I
love
like
it
that.
there.
PTT.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
awesome.
So how you guys looking in recruiting, Jacob, before we get out of here? Let's talk a little recruiting. What you think about the day that the job that Day is doing on the recruit trail?
Yeah, he's doing a good job. It's such a different time now. Like for me, I honestly have kind of, you know, been drawn away from recruiting a little bit just because like you never know when a guy's gonna flip. You never know until really you see him in like a helmet and pads. Like it's hard to be confident that he's gonna be on your team.
Especially with
But
that NIL.
yeah, but Day's doing a good job. We Tavian St. Clair is kind of like the crown jewel of our 2025 class. He's he's like we're kind of like throwing him into the quarterback race, even though he won't be the starter. But he's the guy that the fan base is really excited about. And Devin Sanchez as well.
I
Five
like Devin Sanchez.
Yeah, five-star corner. I think he might like rotate in a tiny bit this year, but probably next year is when he gets on the field for meaningful snaps. So yeah, it's in a good place right now. As long as Brian Hartline is there, I feel fine about like the receiver stuff. But yeah, Days, there are no complaints from the fan base with
Except
Day
for that
in regards
last
to.
Saturday in November.
Let me piggyback
Come
on that.
on, Donovan.
This is a real question. If he wouldn't have won the national championship last year, was his job? People were, when he lost to Michigan, they was there was talk that his job was on the line. If he wouldn't have won the Natty last year, would he really have? You think he would have been fired? Or
Yeah, that's tough. I wrote after the Michigan loss, I was like, the only way I'll sit here and advocate for him to be back is if he wins it all. And he like credit to him, he did it. I think it kind of depends on when they would have lost in the playoffs. Like if they lose to Tennessee at home with Tennessee guys warming up with their shirt off, you lose to that team. Like the fan base, it might have been like the pressure might have been too much. They might have like carried him out of there. But yeah, I think the interesting thing, like whenever we think about that stuff, is like when people say they want him fired, I'm always like, okay, well then, like, give me a name of who you want as the replacement. And
Urban Meyer.
yeah, some people will say Urban because they're like 7-0, 7-0, or, but yeah, I don't know if going back to Urban is like the best alternative. I don't know. I was never like a part of the mob with like the torches out for Day and telling him like he has to be gone right now just because like I didn't see a great alternative out there, but yeah, he's safe for now. For
Right.
now.
I get it.
He was happy y'all won that championship because I want him to keep Day. I just don't think he got it in him to beat Michigan. Until he beat Michigan, hey, I'm seeing him win. I'm like, yes.
I get it. Because I remember we were at a point, excuse me, but like that with Harbaugh, and then he was having winning seasons, but he was losing, in the beginning he was losing Ohio State, and there were it was a few people calling for his head, but I kind of was like you. I'm like, okay, who do you bring in? I mean, it's not. These type of big programs like that, you really don't want to go get an unknown.
Yeah.
And then it felt like, I don't know, that he got that little last fire under his button, and we went on this little streak now of beating Ohio State, and then he got out last year. And so I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turned the corner when he made this special hire off a recommendation of Michigan, man, right? When he got Ben Herbert in here, that's when it turned around for Michigan. And when he took that job, I was like, man, it was like, I knew he was going to take Ben with him. Ben is this guy now, man. Ben got them boys strong in the trenches, and that's where the game is won, especially
That's good,
the
though.
coach that he is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let my man, let him, I think this is to be his first year where he'll really be able to put, his stamp on the team.
Yeah, Moore going to do a good job. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here?
Well, I feel like we need to definitely get back on.
Yeah,
and do
you coming back, Jacob, man.
Yeah,
Let us know,
Jacob,
man.
again.
Especially throughout the season. But go ahead,
We
Don.
need to try to get together for the Ohio State game somehow. We need to figure that out and do something like that so we can do a show remote.
Maybe we do a live broadcast simultaneously while the game going on, like
we can do
Peyton
that.
Manning brothers be doing.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot
For
of fun.
NFL too, right, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm a Bengals guy.
Yeah, we could talk that because we big Lions guys. We could come back and do that as well.
Pistons, you guys Pistons fans?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man. You like the Pistons too?
No, I'm a Cavs guy.
I knew it. I love this. I love it.
Yeah, we got natural rivalry. So yeah, we got a lot of good chopping up points.
Yeah, I think the Pistons, man, they gonna take another step. The free agents that they got grew on me. I think I like what Trajan is doing. So
I was kind of skeptical at first. I'm like, go get that big name, but now that I'm, you step back and you look at it like you said. I think they coming back with their core,
Yeah.
and with the East being the way it is, these top teams losing their top players, and really besides what Cleveland.
Cleveland tough too, yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland, they still have their core of their team. They didn't lose any. Boston lost, Philly, even though Philly wasn't in. I can't think off the top of my head who was the other team that lost somebody. Or the Knicks. The Knicks are probably one of the favorites. So I figure the Knicks, Pistons, the Cavs, and Orlando. I like Orlando as a dark horse also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to go get Jaren Jackson.
Oh,
Oh,
oh man, I would have
I
loved
think
that.
you said that, Don. We was talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's all. I
Like,
wanted that. I want that big wing. I want that big power forward that can shoot and defend. I feel like that'll open up a lot for us. But we're gonna patiently wait. We'll see what They still got the trade deadline coming up too. So
Yeah, that would have been perfect because, Jaren does, I love him, but he does not rebound. And Duran, obviously, he rebounds everything. So,
right, they would have complemented each other well.
yeah.
yeah. So that's good. We got to do this again. Well, listen, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us, Jacob. Thanks, Don. Subscribe. Y'all watching the Blueprint Sports Podcast. We're going to bring Jacob back. Hey, we family now. We rivals, but hey, family, they rival sometime.
Oh yeah, it's all love.
Yep. So until next time, go blue. And if you want to say what you want to say, Jacob, for your fans.
Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
All right, fellas.